This week's episode is sponsored by Scotch Porter. There's never been a rule that said only women are allowed to take care of themselves. So fellas, make sure you got some daily essentials for your hair, face, beard, and that special area down below. If you use the code SI10 on scotchporter.com right now, you can save 10% off your order.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Sophisticated Ignorance. I am Nieema, Simone.
What are you smiling for?
Because the camera's like right there.
The camera has been here for like a year now.
I was looking at Vixon. He was smiling.
Okay. We never have a normal intro. It is what it is.
Well, we don't need to have a normal one. They know who the fuck we are already. Hello, good day.
Okay. It was just a statement. I don't know what all this energy is for.
Stressing me out. I don't feel
Just
good,
breathe.
y'all.
Just breathe.
I'm really, really sick right now. I have a
You'll be
fever.
alright, you got 59 minutes.
Right. We're going to thug it out. I was going to call out, but then I realized you can't call out on your podcast. So,
You have no sick hours. None whatsoever. Just so you know.
All right. So today's episode is about how can women be submissive in their relationships. I have a client, whenever I do a podcast episode, I like to ask her, her thoughts and ideas on what we're going to talk about. And she was like, well, why don't y'all talk about do women know how to be women in a relationship? I'm like, what do you mean? She was like, there's a lot of women out here who are strong and, they're very career oriented. And because of that, they have this idea that they can't submit to a man. So maybe you should talk about, can a woman be submissive and why aren't they, et cetera, et cetera. I was like, holy shit.
Good one.
So shout out to Tatum on that one. I was like, all right, girl, good, because I didn't know what the hell we was going to talk about. And
usual.
And I have a paper due, and that's kind of important right now. So yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
So I guess we'll start off with what does it actually mean to be submissive as a woman in a relationship? Because I think that's probably where a lot of women don't be submissive because they don't really understand what it means.
Right. I think women here submit and they automatically think about some kind of woman who is weak. Mm-hmm. Automatically. I don't know why that pops necessarily
Google
in their head.
Popped up something completely different.
Actually, I Googled one version and it did sound like you're going to be weak and you have no say so. One definition did say that, honestly.
A lot of the shit that I found
and I was like,
just
what?
In a different realm. It was completely all sexual. There was no psychological aspect of it.
Only one definition popped up like that. But the rest of them was really, because I Googled it specifically. How can a woman be submissive in her relationship? And then I was like, wait, how can a woman be emotionally submissive in her relationship?
I forgot the emotional part.
Yeah, and that's when it came up. But it mostly popped up as, how to be a submissive wife. Mm-hmm. So I guess we could probably talk about that too. Being a girlfriend and being a wife, because there's a difference. And I think that's another problem that most women have, when to draw that line between I'm your girlfriend, I'm your wife. Mm-hmm. But my opinion about what it means to be submissive is letting the man be the man, let him lead, letting him make
the decisions. Not saying that whatever he says goes, but you can give your opinion, but at the end of the day he's still a man. Mm-hmm. So his decision is going to be based on the family and the household entirely, and not necessarily, sorry ladies, an emotional standpoint, more logical at times. That would be his decision. So I think let him be the man, being his partner, not necessarily standing behind him, but standing beside him, not in front of him. Okay. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, that's my definition of it. Making sure he good. If he's good, then you good, everybody good.
We all happy.
We all happy.
No, because I think the issue is that, because what your client mentioned is, you have a lot of women that's in that certain field where they've worked so hard to get to a certain position, and now it's okay, when it comes to their dating life or their love life, it's I'm not trying to lose my spot. I gotta maintain the authority, or I gotta maintain this level of power that I've already obtained professionally. So when it comes to relationships, it's no, I'm not budging with that. They not trying to hear none of that at all. So that's usually what happens when it comes to those. Because I remember, I don't know, I think maybe it was my sister or my mother was watching a program or whatever. It was some dating show where they helped, I guess, people of a certain social economic status date. And there was a specific black woman there. And she was she's high up in corporate or whatever, and her issue was that every time she goes on dates, or the men that she would date, she treats them more like it's the workplace as opposed to, this is supposed to be a romantic space. So that's usually where the shit would falter. And I think for her, she had a problem being submissive. Like, she worked so hard
to get where she at.
Get
so
where
she
she at.
doesn't want to feel like she's less than. I think.
Yeah, and then like once you get to that certain status, it's like, yo, I've done so much and now I have attained this power. It's like, I'm not trying to relinquish that at all.
Right.
So then when you deal with somebody, men have an ego. You deal with men like that, then they ain't gonna try. That's gonna be like an automatic turn off for them. It's like, why are you talking to me like you my boss?
Yeah, the aggressiveness. Like, we're on a date and you're still kind of like tense and you're talking to me like I'm on a damn interview or something. Yeah,
that's how it goes sometimes. And I think it's usually more like women that's in that professional field where they've had to, they already have to deal with the male ego at the workplace, and that kind of, sprinkles into their personal life as well.
Even women who aren't in higher up as far as career, they're just really overly fucking aggressive. Like, they talk rough. The behavior and demeanor is very masculine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that comes from...
Not even that. They be very defensive about a lot of shit.
Right, there we
it's
go.
It's not
defensive.
It's more defensive than like aggressive. Because I definitely... Women that I've talking to, and they be cool. It's like there's no issue with them, but it's like they say certain things, and you're like, yo, why you mad hostile right now?
Yeah.
It's like there's no aspect of you that you want to feel like you're vulnerable. So it's like it's almost like a fear factor for them.
I posted something on my Insta story the other day about how I don't have no kind of want to be the man in a relationship. I don't want to do shit. I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to wear pants. I don't want to take out the garbage. I don't want to clean fucking gutters. I don't know anything about technology or plumbing. I don't want to know about it. I don't care to know about it. That's the man's job. You go ahead, honey. You fix that. If you can't fix it, we gonna call somebody to do it, because Nieema not fixing it. Like, I have no need to want to be the man in the relationship. I don't want to do nothing. Okay, don't want to do shit but mind my business.
I was gonna say something, but I'm not gonna say it.
Please don't get me upset today. Don't get me upset today. Although the listeners might want to hear what you had to say.
No comment.
But then that's something we gotta deal with when the mics go off.
Yeah, I ain't trying to get hit.
So we gonna leave that alone.
She heavy-handed. So I guess have we really defined why is it so hard for women to be submissive?
No,
well, I guess with the defensive thing, I think that's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's more like I guess learned behavior, or it's more of a defense tactic. Like, because they were hurt from previous relationships, or they may not have, the ideal, relationship with their father, then it's like once they get that hurt from that one guy, it's like from now on, it's like, fuck all these niggas. Like, I don't want to deal with y'all at all. Like, even if they deal with you, it's like the conversations or the responses they'll have to certain shit is like, yeah, okay, that's cool, but it's like, nah. It's like a passive aggressive sort of thing.
I used to be like that, but not because I had a bad experience. It's just that I grew up around certain people, and I know what you're telling me is probably bullshit. So it's just like, all right, nigga, next. I think Steven made a comment one time. He was like, every time I turn around, you're talking to somebody different. I'm like, because I don't have the patience to constantly listen to the same thing over and over again. I know it's not going to go nowhere. So after the first 24 hours, I kind of figure out I don't want to deal with you no more. So who's next? You got to keep that roster flowing.
But see, it's different for you because when we have those real conversations, they definitely did some bullshit. A lot of times, women could be defensive with a dude that ain't even do shit yet, or at all.
Right. I don't know.
Shaking your head like.
Because I really don't know why. Like, necessarily. Well, we just said why, but it's like if you have no reason to be and you still choose to be that way, like. And
a lot of times they don't know that they're being that way. Like,
right.
we've mentioned this before on the show. Like, a lot of people do need therapy. We all need therapy.
Right.
So that's one.
I think therapy is fun. I enjoy that shit.
I've never had it, so I can't comment
That's
on
good.
it.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying. But yeah, I think it's more of like because they dealt with this one situation, they don't want to feel that sort of pain again. So it's like every dude after that is like, all right, I see you.
Heard you.
Heard you. You around, but I ain't gonna let you know that you in all the way.
And that's another thing we gotta stop doing, ladies. If you like somebody, it's all right to say you like them, and it's okay if they don't like you back.
I definitely was dating a chick that was like passive aggressive of her admitting that she liked me, and it was just weird.
Yeah, because then it's like, all right, I don't want to be bothered no more.
Yeah.
Like you get to that point, you're like, all right, sis, you can't get it together. I'm gonna get it together with Shorty over there, and then
There you
know.
go. There you go. And then they want to come back and be jealous and like, oh, who's that? It's like, nah, you had your chance.
Everybody always asking who that. Nigga, who you? Who you? Somebody hit me up. We're gonna put that shit on the podcast page because I'm feeling away. I hope I ain't delete that thread.
You ain't give me that screenshot yet?
No,
Yo,
I
fell
totally
off,
forgot
yo.
about
You're gonna
it.
have to drop out of school.
Nah, chill. So I can see you all that. He was just like, where you been? I haven't heard from you. Nigga, I'm not in the mood tonight, so I'm about to light you up with all of this.
Wow. He asked one question.
No. Guns blazing, because I'm not in the mood for this kind of energy.
He asked you one regular question. Where you been at? That's showing a sign of concern.
That's showing that you a fuck nigga.
Why are you giving him more fire?
That's showing that you a fuck nigga. And you remember the last conversation we had. Like,
how you know?
Don't play
No,
dumb.
he had mad conversation. How he's supposed? Nobody scrolls up anymore.
He ain't need to scroll up because the last one was him asking me a question.
He
and
probably
I
deleted the
responded.
thread because he was talking to another shorty that be in his phone.
Well, there you go. Stay over there, nigga. Don't come back over here. I have no conversation for you. I have no time.
Keep trying, my brother. Keep trying.
All right. Steven just wants you to keep trying so I can put you on the page.
Shh. What's he gonna find out?
That's all he wants. So, when did it become normal for women to think that it's okay to run a family by themselves, like sustain a family alone?
I don't know when it happened. I just feel like, I don't know. Maybe it's even wrong to say this, but there's like imagery that's pushed by certain women in certain positions of power, whether it be entertainers or celebrities. And it's like, okay, you can, appreciate their story and appreciate the strength that they have, but at the same time, it's like it's gotten out of hand where women are like, okay, I definitely know a homegirl of mine that got pregnant. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool or whatever. With the child's father, she was like, I have no interest of him playing a part. I'm like, so you're having a whole baby by yourself that you choose to do for the next 18 plus years of your life.
Forever.
Like
not even 18 plus, forever. And I ain't got to answer those questions when your child starts asking about their father. And what are you going to say? I decided for you that I don't want him to be a part of your life? That's causing other issues.
That's crazy.
And I don't understand why women do that. Whatever issue you have with the child's father,
I don't even think that
have,
in that scenario there wasn't even really an issue. It was just like
choose to.
We just, we got caught up and I'm moving on.
Even if that is the case, why do you take that right of a child to have their father in their lives?
Yeah, let the child make that decision.
That's insane.
And then, it goes to show because I don't know all the details, but that also goes to show on his part if he never made an effort to be there as well.
I have a comeback for that. But I'm trying to
word it correctly.
Yeah, because I'll say some fuck shit, and I don't want to be disrespectful to your friends.
Hey, we've definitely offended people on this show before.
I don't give a fuck either way, but I'm trying to be
Neither
nice.
do I. More ignorance than sophisticated at this point.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
But yeah, I really don't know when it became like a thing, and like now it's celebrated. Like now,
how y'all celebrating fucking struggling? I'm sorry.
Well, it's not even struggling. It's like
that's still a struggle. That's an emotional struggle.
Yeah,
that
but
your
it's
child
a
has to deal with.
a hidden struggle because they're always gonna show everything on social media, the positive sides. So it's like when Father's Day rolls around, that meme that they always have is like, oh, the moms are about to come out. Like, yeah, I played the mother role and the father's role.
All right, so get your silky, sis. Get your silky.
Get your do-rag on.
Like, relax. Calm the fuck down. That's the choice that you made. So it's no. I feel like when women make that choice for the men not to be part of the child's life, whether or not the father tried to or not, the mother still made that decision. A lot of times, the mother's word trumps everything. And I totally disagree with that idea, but it does. And when those kind of holidays come around, like Father's Day, and all of a sudden you want all this praise, 9 times out of 10, you chose that. I'm not praising you for doing something you chose to do that you had to do regardless. Like, I just feel like women at times are very selfish. They think about themselves more than they think about their child alive. And then when they start to think about their child, that's when they start realizing, oh shit, maybe I fucked up.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. But let's take a quick commercial break, pay these bills and whatnot, and we'll be right back.
To all of our day ones, loyal fans and listeners, here's a chance to really show your support. Head to patreon.com/sophisticatedignorance and earn rewards from us, ranging from a shout out on air to exclusive content or becoming a guest on the show. We appreciate all your support.
All right, everybody, we're back. No, because usually, I don't know when the mic be off. And they got to turn it back on.
Hey, you always look at me to ask
I didn't
me
look
when
at
the
you
mic
this
is
time.
back.
I didn't look at you
Yeah,
this
I
time.
was looking at you to make sure
Nope.
you wasn't looking at me.
I asked the right person.
Like, our engineer is literally in the room.
Stop. Don't do that.
It's okay, you're sick.
Right, in the head. Just...
And your eyes are getting blurred. So let me read this.
Thank you. I'm over here straining.
So let's get back into this. So I guess we ended off with, why women felt it's acceptable to raise a family alone. So the next question is, like, is it learned behavior? Like, has it become like a thing or a norm where it's like, I'm just do this and rock out? And
I think it is a learned behavior. It comes from people in their family, the women in their family. They see them do it, make those decisions. They see their friends do it. I feel like it became a trend at one point for a strong 5 years, a calm 10. Chicks is just having babies just to have it. Like, I'm gonna have my baby anyway. Like, it was cute to have a baby. Now it's the thing to have like these really big over the top baby showers. So a lot of times I feel like
or the
gender reveal.
Gender reveal.
I'm so upset because I wanted to do that a long time ago before it became a thing. Now it's like I can't. So I'm gonna do something else, and I'm not going to talk about it.
They're gonna steal your idea.
Yes, I'll be dumb tight.
Then you gotta have to beat her up.
But
and
you
the
know
baby.
what? It's very southern what this is. So people not really from the South. A lot of people are like from the Caribbean nowadays.
Like, it was cool, but it's like y'all doing way too much. Like, you're doing way too much.
But
like, it's over the top. I'm just waiting for somebody to like run up to the White House and like try to paint the shit pink. Like, you gotta relax. Like, you gotta relax.
Annoying. So yeah, I think it's the learned behavior from how they grew up. Maybe a lot of times their mothers or their aunts, sisters were single mothers, which caused them to be very dominant, which later on trickled down to them not knowing how to be submissive in a relationship because they're used to doing everything themselves. So at that point, having that trust in your partner to just let go and relax and let them do everything, it became more of a like I said, like, I'm less than, like, I'm not really a woman if I can't do everything by myself. And it's like, no, you shouldn't have to do it by yourself. And if you don't have to, then fucking don't.
Yeah. And I think social media is to blame for that as well, because there's plenty of figures that are single mothers or baby mothers or whatever, and they try to,
popping baby moms.
Yeah, they try to make things seem so grand, like they doing all of this stuff, and their captions be like 5 paragraphs deep with mad grammatical errors. But
I read something today and I was like, my head hurt. I'm already sick. Like, what is this saying?
I don't know. Nobody knows. She can't read. The baby can't read. Everybody fucked up.
Stop it. Okay. But that's not their fault. That's the fault of the school. Because I remember I had language arts and I had phonics.
Don't try to defend them. Next point.
In class.
Don't try
so that's not their fault.
If you can't read, you should not be getting pregnant.
Oh my God. No, all right. Nope.
Next.
Well, that goes to show who she decided to be with, who was fucking her.
Oh, the
care if she
dudes,
knew
the
how to
dudes
read.
that, what you said, the dudes that use their finger to read every
Yeah,
word.
they be like this. They be like, "Is this like get me tight? Like stop letting this nigga read. Like I want to fucking go unless he reading out loud, just so we can laugh at him."
Oh, man.
Okay, but I just got annoyed.
You just got to turn on. Let's YouTube on Channel 13.
Listen,
What's the dude's name? LeVar Burton. Reading Rainbow.
listen. All right, so women, we know this already. We've seen statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Women have better careers than most men, making
mentioned
more
that.
money, doing all this other kind of stuff. And then we also have these shows. I forgot the lady name. Her last name is Stinger, but she helps these women and millionaires
I think I've seen
learn
that show
how to
before.
date. Yeah.
I think I've seen that show before.
I forgot her first name, but she's kind of fucking dope. And she helps
Caucasian
them.
woman, right?
Yes.
Black hair?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've seen that
Something
show
Stanger. I can't remember her first name. But a lot of times she teaches these women how to like be women. It was like one episode she did with this one lady. She had her own business. She was really, really successful, but she did not know how to fucking relax.
Mhm.
Like on a date, like she just couldn't, like everything she did, down to how the napkins was placed at the dinner, the forks was the wrong way, and the guy was just sitting and looking at her like, I want to fucking go.
Check, please.
He was
You
just
didn't
like,
order anything. That's okay.
it was so uncomfortable to watch, and like she didn't know how to sit right, she didn't know how to be womanly. Everything about her was just like, I'm in the boardroom and I'm talking to somebody.
Yeah.
It wasn't
automatic
flirty.
turn on.
Yeah, it wasn't flirty, and it wasn't fun. And I think at the end of the episode, they hooked up with somebody, but I don't think it ever worked out because she just could not let go. And I think a lot of times when women, they don't know how to just let go. Like, we're not saying give up your identity.
Some of those it's like they're on the clock 24/7.
Yeah, we're not telling you to diminish your accolades or anything, but like, relax. Because I don't like when I'm out with a guy, the only thing he talks about is his work and his job. Like, I get annoyed.
That's trash. That's
Like,
probably like the last thing I want to hear.
Like, I don't. Like, I
I'll
work
ask
all
her
day.
I ask her to courtesy, but you
I-
want deep dives, then it's like, oh,
Nah,
where's
I'm
the gun? Kill me now.
But saying that, why do you think those kind of women with those kind of accomplishments decide to date down? Is it because they get to continue to be the submissive woman? Dominant one in a relationship and not have to
Well, I
submit?
think it speaks more. I think it speaks more about the men that's probably in the same career path as them or the same social economic status as them. Because those dudes typically, rarely do you see them usually date women in the same social economic status. They usually like, because okay, the male ego thing is like, I have this woman, she does, all the domestic stuff for me, but everything else I take care of.
Right.
So when it comes to dating a woman who not only does the domestic stuff, but the other stuff she don't need me for, a lot of dudes feel out of place with shit like that. So that's kind of hard for them to usually date somebody in the same career path. That's why you see like
Men.
yeah,
Men.
men.
Okay.
That's why you see like the dude that's the CEO. He usually either has a housewife or he's usually sleeping with the mistress. He's usually sleeping with like a secretary or something. He's
Right.
never rarely do they date somebody that's on the same level or same title as them.
Okay.
And I don't think that's usually a women thing. I think a lot of women, that attain that sort of status, they would like to date somebody that, has that same, access to money or same ability to just do whatever, but they can't because they usually don't find them attractive. And then also, now that I'm thinking about it, it may be even from like a visual perspective as well. Like, because men are visual creatures. So it's like, okay, usually you're not going to be able to see a woman in her most sexiest sometimes based off of her attire at work. She's in slacks or she's in a blazer. That's not.
You could look sexy as
Yes,
fuck.
you can, but a man is not automatically thinking that.
But
It's
he
the
think the
truth.
secretary is sexy with them same fucking slacks.
But she's
and
not.
them linked ass payless flat.
They're usually dressed different in comparison to the actual CEO.
Okay.
And then also, like I mentioned earlier, different social economic status as well. He's not, because we usually, okay, if he's dating somebody that's in that title, then the person that he probably cheating with, total opposite.
That's true. Because she makes him feel more like a man.
There
Probably.
you go.
Because she's not asking questions.
There you go.
I feel like
I ain't
there
saying
has
it's
to be
right.
some
I'm just
sort of
saying that's what
balance.
usually happens.
But again, why do you? So you're saying that women in these high positions, since they can't be submissive, they rather find a man who can submit to them, who they can take care of, like a child. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Because I kind
not
of feel
take
like
care
that's
of them,
but
then,
that's exactly what the men are doing who date down with a woman who's not who doesn't have as much money. He's pretty much taking care of her. She gets an allowance. Okay,
Yeah,
we're
that's
going
more
to
from-
call it a joint account. We don't want to say allowance.
That's more from a financial perspective. The conversations and thought process is different though. If you're dating down with somebody,
You don't dating down as far as career and money. Not saying that you're stupid or anything like that.
well, no, yeah,
Okay.
but it's different. The way a person that's in a different, job field, how they look at life is gonna be completely different than somebody that's at a higher position.
That's not always true.
But it usually happens.
It's a bunch of fuck shit.
Okay, that's why we have this show to point out the fuck shit.
And then laugh at it.
No, laugh at them. The joke's on you.
So do we think those kind of aggressive and defensive women are usually single and not married?
Yes.
That's so bad. I feel, damn it.
Yeah, because nobody want. If men are controlled by the male
Steve was getting
ego.
ready to say, don't nobody want y'all.
No, I wasn't gonna say that.
Yes, he was. Yes,
I
he was.
definitely was not.
Yes, he
gonna
was.
say-
See, Vixon said you was getting ready to say that.
He gonna just agree with you because he still owe you something.
Don't say that. I don't want no issues, sis. All right, we don't want. Listen.
No comment. Anyways, I was gonna say, like, when it comes to that, it's like, okay, if the men are controlled by the male ego, I don't want anybody talking to me crazy, period. So if it's somebody that I'm dating, I don't need all that aggressive energy. Like for myself, usually when I'm dating somebody, you're supposed to be my like escape from everything else. Like work.
Don't put that kind of pressure on her.
You gotta relax.
Don't put that kind of pressure on her. I hate when men tend to say that. I say it, but I mean something differently. She's not your escape. You should have your own form of escape. She can make it a little bit easier for you when you come home, but don't put that pressure on her.
But I'm not putting that pressure on her.
You
I'm
said
not
it.
saying that she has to be. This is how.
Said she should.
No, I said this is how I would like
Okay.
the
Go
person that
ahead.
I'm dating to be.
Go
Like
ahead.
that person's supposed to be I would like them to be my escape from everything else, work or whatever stress I'm dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you need that other, form of conversation, that other type of energy around you. So it's like if I'm leaving work where you're dealing with all that aggressive nature just in general, I shouldn't be coming home and dealing with that same sort of aggression as well. Like that's not ideal. And I don't think a woman would want to deal with that shit either.
Correct. Because when I come to the house, I don't want to talk for a strong 15 minutes. Don't shh. Even at work, sometimes I be like, can I be quiet?
Oh yeah, at work I like to ease on through to the day. Like I don't want to just automatically just start doing shit.
Yeah. Like, I just need quiet for the first 5 minutes. And then we could get the ball rolling. When I come home, I don't want to talk immediately. Like, let me
Unwind.
get through the damn door. Because as soon as I walk through the door, my dog is there. And he's just like going batshit crazy. And then everybody asking me questions is like, listen, I've been answering stupid ass questions all day. Give me a minute to answer y'all dumb ass questions. No? Give me a fucking minute.
Shots fired.
I love y'all though, but y'all gotta chill.
Okay.
Let a nigga take their shoes off first. Like, shit.
Take off your bra, unbuckle the belt.
Take the wig off. All right, let me do that first. Then we can have a conversation.
Put it on the coat hanger.
Nah, I'll just leave it on. I'll leave it on the kitchen table sometime.
What?
Well, nobody eat at the kitchen table. It's just there for like decoration.
Has your dog ever like taken your wig as a hostage?
Nah, he knew not to touch the bundles.
He knew not to touch them.
He do not touch the
What's the
bundles.
next topic, yo?
He got it, but he don't fuck with it. He like, alright, I know what that is.
He probably think it's a cousin.
Mommy said don't
He
touch
think it's
that.
a relative.
No, he's scared of his own shadow sometimes. So he just be chilling. He just guards it. Like, alright, that's mommy. So nobody come touch this. Alright, so I feel like a lot of these women
Alright, so.
Very-
Great job.
very New York. I feel like a lot of these women end up attracting toxic relationships because they don't know how to.
Because they settle.
Yeah.
Because they struggle to be in relationships, or struggle to, find somebody that will accept them for them. Then whoever even gives them a glimpse of like they're going to stay, they just accept it.
Oh, there's that.
Yeah. And then they become resentful and become bitter, and then They're like the old ones that be talking mad shit on Facebook with mad grammatical errors.
With them fucking horrible ass selfies.
And they be using memes that's mad pixelated, so you can't even read what the
all
meme
the fucking,
says.
like, glitter on it.
Yeah, like the shit when internet just started popping and everything could look bad cheap. All the
joints?
MySpace imagery.
Like, where y'all get that from? Because I definitely don't have that on my iPhone. I don't. They had to Google that. You kidding me?
And that's why they're all on Facebook, because they don't know how to use any other social media app
except for Snapchat.
I don't know.
All the old hoes know how to use Snapchat.
Really? That's a shocker.
All of them.
There's like
they don't take the picture right though.
That's like 75 buttons on Snapchat.
Because you still see like the text and edit little pieces around the picture. So I think they take the picture and they probably screenshot it because they don't know they can save it.
Yeah, I see a lot of people that do
yeah.
that. That shit pisses me off.
Bitch, save the picture and go back.
They don't know how to save. They don't know how to email. But they know all the gossip on Facebook.
They tuning on everybody's business. Priorities. People worried about the wrong shit, as Steven would say. All the time.
Listen.
So I read this article, right? And it said that women have penis envy.
Please, elaborate. If you can, provide visuals.
So I say it all the time. That's weird. That's just weird. I say it all the time in a joking way, like, you can suck my dick. And so they felt like women who say they have penis envy. They wish they had a penis. That's why they say that. They are jealous of men and their masculinity.
Really?
Which is why they tend to be aggressive and defensive and rude and loud, and they curse a lot and all that other stuff.
Well, we'll continue this in just a second.
All right, we'll be right back, y'all.
Gotham Boutique, owned by sisters Nieema Simone and Tiara Monet, is your go-to for all of your beauty needs, offering services in eyelash extensions, microblading, skincare, permanent makeup, and one-on-one classes, and of course, makeovers. Use promo code GBSI to receive 15% off your service.
All right, y'all, we back. We was actually having a side conversation about the penis envy theory that I said.
Gunshots and penis envy.
That is weird. I just picture like mad
black and mild.
No, mad penis is shooting out of a gun. I don't know
what. Hey, yo, please describe what penis envy is. What? You really got to stop watching Disney movies. This is why your imagination is all over the place. Like, that was the most childish and random and weird shit I've ever heard.
Oh, man. All right. So, guys, penis envy. Like I said before we went to break, it's when a woman is overly aggressive and she's dominant and she acts pretty much just acts like a man. And in her stance and the way she behaves. And they feel like women who have those characteristics are jealous of a man's masculinity and his appendage. So
I'm trying to think if I've met or dealt with anybody like that.
We probably seen them like on social media. I mean, they're everywhere. Like women who just be like, yo, sis, like you gotta relax. Like just chill. Like
know.
they just look rough. Like real rough. And they talk rough. They sound like they about to start rapping. Like, like
yo, DJ, drop the beat.
So it's like just a mess.
I'm trying to. Do you have an example? It would be great if you would have had an example. I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm trying to think of. I really can't think of anybody that have. Because, like, I mean, we was talking about this off air. You said, like, women like that tend to, you know, eventually switch genders.
I didn't say that.
What you said then?
No, they said maybe they want to become a man, and I said yeah, because that's a thing now.
Oh, the thing part was what you wanted. You wanted to keep quiet.
Yeah, it's a thing now. But yeah, it's a bad joke. But
it's too late.
That's how the fuck I felt. Everybody has a thing. It's very, very popular right now.
We'll have a conversation about that constructively.
Changes.
We'll have a conversation about that constructively.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe.
I don't know. I guess. I mean, hey, if it's a legit article, then they've clearly done the research and they probably had the conversation.
That's like saying everything you see on the internet is true. I just
I don't think you would just bring it up just for the sake it was there, but I think it came from a credible source.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know who the person who wrote it. I don't know the person who wrote it, whatever. But it was a really good article to read. They even have one called Womb Envy, where men are jealous of women.
Oh, men are definitely jealous of women.
So they had that I didn't read that one because it had nothing to do with today's topic. I'll read it later. But,
they definitely are.
You know what? Maybe we'll dive into that next week. Next week, I think we're gonna do like a part 2, and we're gonna talk about why men feel like
music is hella trash.
We're gonna do one about men next week.
Yeah, because they love to talk about how they get mad chicks, and all the behavior is the total opposite of it. Like, you chill with your homeboys more than you chill with the shorty that suck your dick. So
they booty bangers.
All right, next topic. How to become comfortable, ironically, with being more submissive in a relationship.
All right, so when I was Googling this, it was like all these different tips. And like I said, most of it was for wives. Mm-hmm. And before I even get into these tips, I just want to say really quickly, ladies, you got to learn difference between being a girlfriend and being a wife. I feel like a lot of y'all cross that line and y'all overcompensate in ways. And that's why y'all end up feeling like y'all not getting as much as y'all deserve, because y'all just giving too much too soon. Just giving shit y'all shouldn't give. You know, I have a client, she's been with her boyfriend for a while now, and I said it, but then when I say stuff like, you know, I'm a girlfriend, and so I'm a wife, I'm not doing those wifely duties. I'm just not.
Like, throw an example.
I'm not cooking for you.
Really? Not even as like a one-time thing? Or are you talking about like cooking on a daily basis? Like,
maybe if it's something special, like, oh, I want to cook something for you. I want you to try a dish I made. That's me saying it. But as far as cooking you a whole, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not. I ain't fucking Chef Boyardee. I'm not flicking her wrist in the kitchen for you. I'm not.
Again, is this on a routine basis, or like, okay, you inviting the homeboy over and you're happy to be cooking?
That's another thing too. Y'all gotta stop getting so comfortable with having these niggas, these men in your house all the time. Yeah. That's the issue right there.
When me and Vixon went to the Thick Podcast live, shout out to Dabria and Mindy, they was having like an open forum for all the guests or whatever. And
I remember that story.
There was definitely a girl in there that had a dude that's like now her roommate that she recently just met in like the span of like 2-3 weeks.
That's the issue. Once you get him to start coming over so soon and laying
he
up,
he
comfortable, and automatically you want to feel comfortable. You want to start. Oh, I'm gonna let him know I know how to cook.
Shit was
so
hitting the fan.
He ain't gonna go nowhere. It's like,
and now she's stuck.
So that's another thing. Stop doing that. And like I said, cooking, meaning if I have a new dish I want you to try, I'm thinking about you. I'm like, oh, you know what? I just made these. So I want to bring you over something so you could try it. That's different between me wanting to cook a whole meal for you. I'm not doing that. Not even if it's like a romantic date. I'm not cooking, dinner. Maybe if we like 3 years in or 2 years in, I might do that once. I'm not doing it.
You got it. We ain't dating. You could not cook as much as you want.
Because I don't feel the need to. I feel like that's when you overstep your boundaries and women start getting too comfortable, and they feel like I'm gonna do all this shit for him. So when he make you his wife, what is he really getting out of it? What is there for him to look forward to? There's nothing new. And when you look at a lot of these relationships, ask like your grandmother and your grandfather how many times she cooked for him when she was his girlfriend. Seriously, she didn't do that. How many times they stayed the night over at each other's house? Really, I'm not saying it works for every couple, but sometimes you gotta take it back and you really gotta look at your behavior and what you're allowing. Mm-hmm. If you're giving too much, what is there for him to actually look forward to? This is why women feel like they're cheated. I cook, I clean, I do your laundry, I do all this for you. You gonna cheat on me? Bitch, what you doing it for? You're not married. You're not obligated to do that for him. He ain't do that shit for you. Mm-hmm. What are you doing it for him for?
Can we get an amen?
That's just my opinion. I know a lot of people won't agree with it because they feel differently. A lot of people relationships.
I partially agree with you.
A lot of people relationships run differently, but I know for myself, I don't care how sexy a man think it is for his woman to be in the kitchen. Yeah, my girl cooks me a nice dinner or whatever. that's going to be like very occasional. That's not going to be something you're going to get all the time. It should
See,
be something.
now you clean it up. 'Cause before, the way you was saying it, you was like,
you look forward to. But
3
at the
years.
same time, but I'm just, even if it is 3 years, it's not obligated for me to fucking cook for you.
nothing is obligated.
You're a grown man. Just because I'm your girlfriend, you shouldn't expect me to do that for you. Just because I'm your girlfriend, you shouldn't hold it against me because I didn't do it for you either.
I agree.
That's the issue. If I'm with you for 3 years and I never cooked you a meal, then I never cooked you a fucking meal. Did you cook me a meal? We gotta look at No, I'm just, because you're here and we're having a conversation. I'm just saying.
No, I agree with you.
That's because you said you partially agree. But I'm
No, the way you was saying it was like, until that ring show up, but you said that, then you said occasionally.
Yeah.
If you choose to.
I said that in the beginning. If I decide to cook something and I want to send you over some leftovers or a plate, you're still getting the meal that I cooked. But did I stay in the kitchen all day and specifically made that for you? No, I don't have to.
You're right. I've never ever.
We could go to a cooking class and we could cook together. You could taste my dish and I'll taste your dish.
And they both try.
There you go.
Surprise, motherfucker.
There you go. But yeah, let's get. I just wanted to say that. As women, we got
some feathers out there.
Sorry, birds. Wait.
Okay.
So I guess we could get into how you could be more submissive. One of the things was you have to learn how to trust your partner, and a woman has to be able to feel like she can trust you.
Okay. That's probably number one in any relationship, period.
Right. Because a lot of times,
a lot of women out here, and I think that comes in with the whole not wanting to be submissive thing. Is like they don't trust themselves, they don't trust the people around them, they don't trust their own family. So it's like as soon as somebody from the opposite sex comes into contact with them, any and everything they say, they second guess. Like, this is too good to be true, or I don't trust this, I don't trust that. And then that's when they become defensive, and then that's when he's like, I ain't got to deal with this shit, I'm out.
But you're not giving her nothing to feel like she can trust.
If you just started talking.
Oh, yeah. But see, that if we just started talking, and that's the issue, that goes back to me with people moving too fast.
Yeah, but you can't have trust. There's a lot of women that are dating, and they have trust issues from the rip, so they shouldn't be dating in the first place.
People shouldn't be dating if they ain't got no money in the first place.
Wait, what? What does that have to
I'm just saying. That's another point. If I feel like when it comes to that, women have to be more observant, because you can kind of figure out who a man is before he sit down in front of you. By the way he walks, the way he talks. Because I'm pretty sure you had a conversation before y'all went on a date.
That's another thing. A lot of my female friends have told me stories about certain shit, and I'll be like, yo, how do you even get caught up in some nonsense like that? Because they be giving them the most bullshit lines and stories, and it's like, how do you even fall for that? Or how you not even had a proper conversation with somebody. Because I think a lot of times, a lot of things could be voided if you actually communicate and stop having like basic ass conversations about remedial shit that means nothing.
And you have to learn how to. One, you have to learn how to communicate properly, but then you have to also learn different ways of communication. Because the way I might communicate with you might not be the way you're used to communicating in general.
Agreed.
So you have to figure that out. I guess that's called what, reading between the lines. People still can't read, so like you said earlier, so there's that. There's fucking that. The ability to be uncertain. You want to read it a little bit? I know I read it already, but I know you like to read.
Your eyes is blurry still?
It is getting blurry right now.
Trying to set me up. I like to read. Okay.
Just don't read with your finger.
This is where being submissive is especially powerful and strong on the woman's part. To be submissive, a woman has to be okay with being uncertain. She has to let her guard down, peel off the mask, and look for steel and be free. That's basically what I've been saying. It's like a lot of women be having like this wall or this guard up. So it's like they can't allow themselves to be vulnerable. And then that's how, they have issues in the relationship, or just issues in general, because they always the trust issues. Then they put this wall up because it's like, all right, I felt some pain and I don't ever want to deal with it again. So I'd rather just have my head on a swivel at all times. So
that gets exhausting.
Facts. For both parties.
And I don't pay attention, so I damn sure ain't gonna do that. I just thought about that video Vixon sent of the do-rag on a little dummy with the little wig head, and they kept turning their head mad fast. I'm sorry, Steven.
I've been dealing with this for like 7-8 years. I haven't left yet, so I don't know. I really don't know.
Next one is opening up.
I always like wonder how the hell this episode is gonna go. 'Cause that's where my uncertainty comes from. It's like, all right.
I told you I wanted to call out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, go ahead, Steven. Open it up. I can't read it. My eyes are blurry.
You said you should know this stuff already. Opening up. I've mentioned it before. Who's I? I've mentioned it before, and I'll mention it again. That a man really wants his woman to be open up to him. This is grammatical error. People can't read.
People can't type the article.
That a man really wants his woman to open up to him and to let him in emotionally, mentally, sexually, spiritually. The problem with the way we're educated or not educated at school is that it turns out a lot of women in these intensely dominating creatures that completely emasculate the men around them.
I always say that. I always try to behave in such a way or not say certain things so the man doesn't think I'm emasculating him. Because that's like a thing. Like,
these is bitches too. It's like, come on, fam. Like, I don't think I've ever felt like I'm less of a man based off who I'm dealing with. And I've dated women from various shades, shapes, sizes, social, economic status, like that, ages, like none of that. If we have a connection, we have a connection. There's no way I could feel less of a man. Clearly, you have me here for a reason. Clearly, I have you here for a reason. So there's no reason why you should ever feel like you being emasculated.
But they do.
That's because they're not real men.
Well, Steven said it.
It's facts.
My opinion as far as that is, as women, like you said earlier, we hold on to a lot of bad relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes hard for us to open up because, again, we don't trust. And we're, again, uncertain about certain things. And then you have these men who kind of make you feel like you're supposed to be a certain kind of way. And I think that's true. When women start pretending to be a certain kind of version of themselves. And I think that's also when later on in the relationship, they end up unhappy and they end up realizing that maybe this isn't the relationship I want to be in. And that's, I guess, the toxic relationship most women end up in because they wasn't honest from the very beginning about what they needed from their partner. A lot of times we give and we don't necessarily express what we need from our partners.
I would have to agree. But here's our last commercial break.
Studio, based out of Sweden, is revolutionizing the way people look at headphones. My favorite is the Trade Design. Designed for the active lifestyle, the Trade is sweatproof with exceptional mic clarity and Siri voice control. Each set comes equipped with a leather case for safe storage in your bag, 3 air wing tips for a custom and comfortable fit, as well as up to 9 hours of battery life. With full sound transparency, you can listen to your favorite tunes without losing touch of your surroundings. We've teamed up with Studio to offer you a great deal. Use discount code IGNORANCE to receive 15% off.
All right, guys. So the last and final point is surrendering. How do I surrender?
Make me read
No.
again.
How do I surrender? Stop.
First, get some rope. Nah, that's why I was saying like Submissive or Google is crazy. Google was horny that day. I'm trying to find a thumbnail for that episode. I pressed images. All I see was rope, leather, outfits. Various women in precarious positions. I'm like, yo, this is not the submissive I was looking for.
Oh my goodness. You gotta be very, very specific with Google.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you learned that.
It happens.
Everybody fuck up on the internet sometime.
Google is mad racist too, but we're not gonna get into that.
What? There was no black people in those images?
Nope. I'm not even gonna say what was the first thought in my head about surrendering and black people, so I'm gonna just keep moving it forward.
Except put your hands up. I can't breathe.
Let me read so we can get back on topic. Part of knowing how to be submissive And knowing that it doesn't mean you are inferior is understanding that by surrendering to a man's leadership and strength at times, you allow your relationship to flow, be real, and just be free. Well, men have to be better leaders, and have to show a sign of strength as well.
And I think that's why women don't submit. They're not good leaders. Some of you men aren't good leaders. You don't show those leadership skills. You can't make decisions for your own self, so I can't trust you to make a decision for me. And if we have a family, I can't trust you to do that. Like, I'm uncertain about where you want to go in life. So where you going to take me?
That's something I usually think about, like, a lot at work, is like, because I deal with a lot of people walking in and out, and then some conversations will actually go left, or some people just come in with a certain attitude or whatever, and then I don't even get mad. I just automatically think, like, okay, I wonder, you're like making this whole scene out of nothing in this establishment. I can only imagine how the rest of your life is as well. So it's like you bugging out off of some little shit in here. I can only imagine how fucked up everything else is.
This week, 2 ladies tried that, and I don't know. I had time. I did. I made time.
You clocked in?
I did. I had clocked in.
I clocked in.
So, I just had to let them know, like, I'm going to get you all the way together so you don't come back in here next time and think you're going to try. You can try it with anybody else. But you're not going to try it with me. So I had to get her together real quick. Like, all right, ma'am, listen. Then another lady tried. I was like, first of all, you bleach your skin, so I can't take you seriously. Okay? So that's what we're not going to do today.
Like Sammy Sosa.
Because all I said was, I'm sorry, ma'am, can you move your purse? My client's trying to sit down. And she gave me attitude. I was like, make sure you get her the right foundation for her bleaching cream. Okay? And then I kept dragging it because I don't understand. Like, you want to be.
Get them deep.
You know what it is? Because sometimes I feel like people act that way because nobody checked them.
Boom.
People act a certain way because nobody told them they're wrong and nobody has checked them. Guess what? I got time today. Okay?
I just punched in my time.
Bitch, let's go. Okay?
Let's fight. But yeah, like the whole leadership is strength thing, like it goes hand in hand. Like men have to be better men in general. And then I think with the whole submissive thing, I really feel like because you had it's a combination of like women possibly seeing like single mothers in their household or in their family, and then because social media has this strong influence on them, not only are they seeing like these quote unquote successful single mothers online, doing the most, but then also every single hour you see, you hear story. What wasn't it like the 1-year anniversary of Hurt Bay recently, all that bullshit, and then you constantly hear stories about people that breaking up or relationship goals and they break up, and I feel like in turn a lot of women don't want to be submissive because it's like, I don't want to end up another social media story as well. So
stop putting all your business on social media.
But no, that's not them. They're influenced by social media. They keep seeing all that negativity, and then it's like, okay, I don't want to end up like that.
Right.
So that's why they don't want to be submissive.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's why they don't surrender.
That's gonna be by yourself for a long time.
Be safe though. Just you and the cats. And you don't know how to knit because they took away all the constructive classes in school, so you just out here just on Instagram scrolling your day away.
Somebody made a comment about Kim Kardashian because they felt like Beyonce tried to come for her in that song with DJ Khaled.
First of all, that song is trash, but we're not even getting into that.
And then somebody was like,
Flashback.
Okay. Like, I'm in Dykeman. I thought I was in Dykeman for a minute.
It happens.
So Beyonce made a comment like how she's a triple threat. And then somebody was like, well, I don't know why, because Chloe made a comment. She was like, I don't know why Chloe make a comment and assume Beyonce is talking about Kim, because only thing Kim know how to do is take good pictures. She can't dance, she can't
and it's
sing.
the same pictures.
Over and over? That's how you feeling?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just her, either in trashy season clothes or naked.
Oh, man.
Where's the lie?
That's not nice.
But what do we have to tell the people
about
surrender? Well, women specific. Well, both parties.
We're gonna get into men next week.
Oh shit! There's no reason for me to even show up because you have plenty to say.
Maybe. I've been doing good lately. I don't have too much trash shit to say about it. I've been minding my business.
That's fine. I'll find some content.
I think as women we need to just learn how. My motto for this year was I want to be okay with not being okay, and I think women need to learn how to be okay with not doing every fucking thing for themselves. You know, like you don't have to. You don't have to. You shouldn't feel like you need to. If there's a man there who's wanting to love you for exactly who you are, then you should be able to do the same thing in return. And you should be able to accept that comfort and that love and that help. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I don't want to take out the fucking garbage. I hate taking out the garbage. So I'm trying to find a man who loves taking out the garbage.
No man loves to take out the garbage.
A man who's going to love to do it because he know I hate it. You know
if he loves to take out the garbage, congratulations, you're dating a sanitation worker.
Stop. They don't even like taking out the garbage. Them niggas be late picking my joint up.
You only did it for the check. That's one of them cop-out jobs. But we ain't going to talk about that.
That's not nice.
It's a fact.
Maybe... I like for women want a certain kind of love. You know, we want a certain kind of man to nurture us. So in order to attract that, I feel like you should be that too. So be the love you want.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you. But I guess from my standpoint is like, I think it's just something we've been saying a lot of times on the show is like people just have to be better in general. I know specifically we just talk about women in this one episode, but men have to do a way better job because I think most of this is because of how men have become trash for a majority of them. Whether they been trash from the jump and just been shitty partners, or, like the Lawrences of the world, like the good fuck boys. Like they show you the good signs and then they ain't really want to be invested with you and then they do fuck shit after. So I think it really starts with men just being better overall, and then women allowing themselves to be vulnerable. Because I think a lot of times women do come across good dudes, and because they have like that 1% of this may not end up the way it should be, or this may end up being, not what I want it to be, like they automatically just put this wall up or put a guard up, and then the relationship ruins from there. So I think men just have to be better, and just women have to, at least come with an open mind. Like, get the negativity out. Like, if you're always trying to avoid something, then you have no idea what you're possibly missing out on.
Right, but don't walk directly into the bullcrap either.
Yeah, and I think we mentioned this before. It's like when you see the signs, pay attention to the signs. Yeah, don't be a fool. Like, don't be a fool and get caught up into some shit. Because I think there's a lot of women right now, like, they could have avoided certain shit.
Right, just fade to black.
Or that Homer Simpson gif when he just falls back into the bushes.
Listen, that's what I have to do sometimes. Like, you know what? I don't want to deal with this conversation. Peace out. And that's how you feel a little bit.
Yeah, so we want to thank y'all for tuning in. You can check us out on SoundCloud, on Google Play, Apple Podcasts. It's really important that you guys leave us reviews on Apple Podcasts. We really appreciate that. Again, we love all of your feedback, especially on the Instagram page. You can hit us up directly. If you ever have show ideas you want us to talk about, if you ever want to be on the show, you can send us an email or DM us. Or if you just want to, just show us some love and show some appreciation for the content that we make for y'all. All of our forums are open. So, yeah. We want to thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.
We are out here. Fuck y'all talking about? Sophisticated ignorance. Are y'all fucking crazy?
That's a fact. Talk
Are y'all
that shit.
Yo, y'all getting me tight. Like, I be out here trying to be humble. Let's not get fucking crazy. Sophisticated ignorance. All right?